Robinson is escorted by her mom, Diana Robinson. Dana will be attending Michigan Tech University to play soccer and study biomedical engineering. Her advice to the underclassmen is just to have fun with your friends while you're in the program, because before you know it, you're not going to be around them very much. Try to find a balance of fun and focus during the season. She would like to thank her parents and sister for helping her get to where she is and helping her achieve her goals. They have supported her through everything in her life and all of her decisions. Number 4, Emma Petrock is escorted by her mom, Melissa, and her brother, Gabe. Next year, Emma will be attending Allen College, where she will play soccer and major in biology, or IPHS. Her advice to other players is to stay positive and make the most of your time, because it really goes by fast. She would like to thank her parents for putting so much time and effort in for her and her brother and sister, and for pushing her to be better every day. Number 5, Annika Dahlman is escorted by her parents, Andy and Pam Dahlman. Annika will be going to the University of Michigan and hoping to study something in math and science fields. Her advice to the underclassmen is to take advantage of the time you have in high school on and off the field. Time really does fly by, so try to make every practice, every game, and every day worthwhile. She would like to thank Dana for all her dedication to the soccer program and for pushing her to become a better player every day. She would also like to thank everyone on the team for making this year so fun and unforgettable. The parents also deserve endless thanks for all they do behind the scenes. Number 6, Genesis Pena is escorted by her parents, Harlan and Christina Pena. Next year, Genesis will be attending Siena Heights University and will be continuing her soccer career there. Her advice to the younger players is to enjoy every single day at practice and games, because it goes by way too fast. Also, work hard every time you step onto the field and cheer on your teammates. She would like to thank her parents for taking time out of their day to come to all of her games and supporting her all 4 years that she's been a part of this program. Number 10, Natalie Bukowski is escorted by her parents, David and Amy Bukowski. Natty will be attending Eastern Michigan University in the Honors College, majoring in secondary education. She knows it's cheesy, but her advice is to enjoy the memories now. Even while you're running the gauntlet and you know you'd rather be doing something else, just remember that in a few short years, you won't be playing with these girls ever again. She would like to thank her parents for spending thousands of dollars on soccer gear, driving to soccer tournaments, and getting up early to take her to games really far away. It means the world to her that both have spent all of her life doing that. She would also like to thank her coaches, like Knox and Dana, for always pushing her to be her best. Number 11, Sabrina Helmer, escorted by her parents, Jacob and Valerie Helmer. Next year, Sabrina will be attending Michigan State University and plans to study dietetics and environmental sustainability. She'd give one piece of advice, would be to remember why your six-year-old self picked the sport and play for her. Thank you to Dana for making her run and helping her learn that she can do it, and she won't die even though it feels like it. Number 14, Margaret Jones is escorted by Saline coaching staff and the support of her parents from Texas. Morgan will be attending the University of Michigan in the fall. Her advice to the underclassmen is to be grateful for all the memories that you will share between your teammates, because 4 years fly by so fast. She would like to thank all of her coaches for always pushing her and giving her good advice for games. She would also like to thank her parents for letting her come back to Saline to spend the rest of the year with her friends and have one last amazing season. Lastly, she would like to thank the Dahlman family for housing her and being the best host. Number 15, Bella Petrock is escorted by her mom, Melissa, and her brother, Gabe. Next year, Bella will be attending Ashland University to play soccer and study pre-law. Her advice for the younger players is to never stop striving for your own individual improvement. All of your work will pay off hugely for you and your teammates in the end. Thank you to Coach Dana for pushing her to be her best for 4 years. She has been like a mentor for her and has given her more knowledge about soccer than she knew existed. She'd always like to thank her mom and dad for their incredible, unwavering support for her on and off the field. Number 18, Sarah Brandon, escorted by her mom, Terry Brandon. Sarah will be attending Adrian College to play soccer and study pre-med with hopes to become a neurologist. My advice to younger players is to love the game and enjoy every minute because they go by faster than you can ever imagine. Always remember that it is just a game and use the frustrations as motivations to get better each day. Become close to the girls you play with, especially the upperclassmen, because they will be your best friends. Thank you to her coaches for always pushing her to get better each day. Her parents for always driving her everywhere and supporting her no matter what, and her teammates for being some of the best friends she ever had. Number 19, Alyssa Williams, is escorted by her parents, Ray and Elaine Williams. Next year, Alyssa will be attending Bowling Green State University to study nursing. Her advice is to never give up, and no matter what happens. She would like to thank her parents and her former coaches, but most of all her dad, because he gave her the foundation skills to succeed at being a soccer player. Goalkeeper Annika Ludries is escorted by her mom, Gillian Finley. Annika will be attending Western Michigan University to study civil engineering. Her advice to the younger players is don't take the games and practice for granted. The 4 years fly by. You have a set number of games with the Saline jersey on, so make them count. She'd like to thank her parents for all the time and energy they put into soccer for the past 12 years, and the girls on the team for making every day so much fun, even when we run. A message to the seniors from Coach Russell. This senior group has been the epitome of dedication. With 11 seniors, they are our biggest class to ever come through the Saline Girls Soccer program. They had the unique experience of seeing a state championship their freshman year, and were charged with continuing to push for greatness in the face of more pressure than any other group has had to deal with. Beyond what they have given to the program on the field, their presence off the field has been just as important. This group is filled to the brim with humor, support of one another, and selflessness. It has been an incredible honor to coach these ladies, and they have made a lasting impact on myself and this program. Good luck with all you do in the future, but know you will forever be a part of Saline Girls Soccer. Ladies and gentlemen, please give these seniors a big round of applause. Good evening. Welcome to Hornet Stadium for today's varsity soccer matchup between the Bedford Kicking Mules and your Saline Hornets. Now starting first, the lineups from our visitors from Bedford. Starting first with your non-starters. Number 3, Brittany Natalie. Number 5, Megan Hellman. Number 14, Sarah Fitzgerald. Number 17, Aaron Varga. Number 40, Alyssa Lopez. Now for your starters. Number 1, Joy Shepard. Number 2, Allie Cousineau. Number 4, Hillary Henry. Number 8, Cassidy Kempler. Number 10, Molly Kopiak. Number 11, Grace Hohenbarger. Number 12, Olivia Cook. Number 13, Lauren Clinton. Number 16, Kate Shuai. Number 24, Mackenzie Hubman. And number 36, Reagan Schmooth. Now for your Saline Hornets, starting first with the non-starters. Number 1, Lexi Kapoor. Number 3, Hannah Jarvie. Number 7, Audrey Morton. Number 8, Lauren Rubin. Number 9, Nora Udries. Number 12, Devin Riley. Number 13, Catherine Wilkie. Number 16, Liz Sakaric. Number 17, Katie Miller. Number 22, Sophie Wood. Number 25, Aaron Riley. Now for the starters. Number 2, Tate Robinson. Number 4, Emma Petrock. Number 5, Annika Dolman. Number 6, Genesis Pena. Number 10, Natalie Bokowski. Number 11, Sabrina Helmer. Number 14, Morgan Jones. Number 15, Bella Petrock. Number 18, Sarah Brandon. Number 19, Alyssa Williams. And number 23, Annika Udries.
ladies and gentlemen, as always, I am Nathan Stearns, and the Saline Live crew is bringing to you guys today the SEC Red matchup between the Saline Hornets and the Bedford Kicking Mules. Saline defeated Bedford 2-0 earlier this season at Bedford, and the Hornets are going to be looking to rebound from a tough game they just had a couple days back earlier in the week when they went to Grand Blanc, a school really close to Flint. Grand Blanc is the 4th-ranked team in the entire state of Michigan, and Saline lost 4-0. So they ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw there. Saline is 6-0-2 on conference play so far, with ties coming against Ann Arbor Skyline in the Hornets' first matchup of the year, and Pioneer, who they just tied about a week ago. Saline, as always, is coached by head coach Dana Russell, and if Saline is able to beat Bedford and Huron, they will win the SEC Red title once again, but first they have to get around the Kicking Mules here. Last time the Hornets did play the Kicking Mules, Coach Russell was not thrilled with the effort that the Hornets gave. However, they still went to Bedford and won 2-0. Saline going to be looking for their 9th win of the year here. And on this senior night, we are going to have 11 senior starters for the Hornets. The Hornets normally start mostly seniors anyway, so not really going to be much of a change of pace there. Sabrina Helmer going to get the opening nod, as is Natalie Voltowski, a couple seniors that normally don't start for the Hornets but rotate in a good deal. And with that, folks, Olivia Kruk for the Mules kicks off over to number 11, Hullebarger. Over to Shepard. Shepard kicks it wide. Brandon going to try to run it down. She does. Over to Morgan Jones. And Jones creeping up the far sideline. Over to Pena. And Voltowski tries to get over there. But that ball is going to be kicked out of bounds off of Bedford. Saline going to have the opportunity for the throw-in. And Morgan Jones, a senior for the Hornets, will throw it in. And once again, folks, it is senior night here. The Lady Hornets having only 2 more games after here tonight, or 3, excuse me. They still have Huron, and then they have Dexter and Lincoln, and that will wrap up the regular season for them. Before the postseason starts, the Hornets going to be looking to bring another state championship back to Saline after they were able to defeat Grand Blanc in the state championship game back in 2015. Hillary Hemry for Bedford had it. Now Brandon comes up. Little pass there over to Annika Dahlman. Dahlman, far side to Voltowski. Voltowski's ahead, and Voltowski, good defense there by Joy Shepard to cut it off. Wanted Pena out in the crease, and Genesis Pena will be going to Siena Heights University to further her athletic career here. Petrock over to Voltowski. Voltowski can't get there. What a pass, though. Man, Voltowski was that close to burying it in the back of the net here. Ball's going to be carried right outside to Alyssa Williams. Williams goes around Hemry. Lost it. And now Riley, Petrock, excuse me, gives it over to Emma Petrock, over to Bella Petrock, over to Annika Dahlman. Emma Petrock, a Saline senior who we mentioned quite a lot, will be attending Alma College to pursue her soccer career to major either in biology or IPHS. Tate Robinson, number 2 for the Hornets, will be attending Michigan Tech University way up north, where they're going to get 4 feet of snow by the time Halloween comes around. So she will be studying biomedical engineering. The Hornets having a lot of players who will be playing at the collegiate level. Emma Petrock's sister Bella Petrock will be attending Ashland University to play soccer and study pre-law. So I think you got to be a pretty proud parents when both your twins go on to play collegiate soccer. Sarah Brandon, the Hornets, one of the Hornets' best defensemen, number 18, will be attending Adrian College to play soccer and study pre-med with hopes to become a neurologist. Annika Dahlman, number 5 for the Hornets, will be going to the University of Michigan to study something in the math and science field, something in the STEM field. And pretty much if you can go into one of those STEM fields and go to the University of Michigan, she's going to be able to get a really good starting salary out of college if that's able to work for her. Saline still looking for the first goal of the game here. Alyssa Williams, number 19 for the Hornets, who is also getting the start, will be attending Bowling Green State University to study nursing, while Annika Udries will be attending Western Michigan University to study civil engineering. Western Michigan having one of the best programs in the entire country for civil engineering. And it looks like Saline's going to get a corner kick here. I believe that's Pena who's going to kick it in for the Hornets. Goes over the head of Dahlman, but rolls right to Robinson. And Petrak going to try to boot it in. However, easy save there for Cassidy. Kepfler, or the Kicking Mules, and Kepfler going to kick it deep here. So the Hornets still in control of their own SEC Red destiny in terms of winning the conference title outright. If they're able to beat Bedford and Huron here, they've beaten both of those teams already on the road. So if they're able to win the next 2 games, they will be SEC Red champions once again. That crazy goal that we guys brought you guys when Nora Udries' younger sister of senior Annika Udries had that header to put Saline ahead 1-0 with 6 minutes left to go in the game. That was the only goal that the Hornets needed to win that game in a game that went back and forth. Dahlman and Kepfler keeps the game scoreless here. Saline getting a lot of early scoring chances here early. It was a really similar tune. Saline went to Pioneer, and after beating Pioneer here 3-0, tied Pioneer 0-0. Pioneer's one of those teams that's not a huge scoring threat. They like playing prevent defense, and they like using that defense to try and keep themselves in the game. And actually, after that game ended, you had a lot of the Pioneer ladies storm the field because they were so thrilled just to tie. Because with that tie, their SEC Red title hopes, albeit slim, are still alive. Saline had scoring chance after scoring chance at about 2 or 3 golden scoring chances, and sometimes that's just the way the game goes. And Saline, once again, was forced to accept the 0-0 tie. They also tied Skyline earlier in the year 0-0. The Hornets, similar to the Pioneers, don't necessarily have a phenomenal scoring attack. Most of the games that they do play are 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, sort of along those lines. I know they've been able to sandblast Monroe twice and beat them 8-0 both times on a mercy rule. And for you folks out there, if the game is 8-0 in the second half, the game's automatically called off for a mercy rule. Saline was able to do that to Monroe both times, but they went to Bedford, only won 2-0, beat Northville 1-0, tied with Skyline 0-0, beat Skyline here 1-0, beat Huron 2-0 at Huron, and their biggest win was here against Pioneer when they won 3-0. And then they lost earlier in the season to a couple of Livingston County teams 1-0. I believe it was Heartland and Brighton who they lost to 1-0. So they're normally 1 or 2 goals away from being on the winning or losing side. More often than not, it is the winning side, as evidenced by their 8-4-2 record. Hornets starting off 0-2-1, but have had a lot of success here as we enter the stretch run of the regular season. Saline went to Grand Blanc just a couple days ago here, and for all intents and purposes kind of got blown out of the water. It was one of those games that the Hornets really struggled in all facets of the game here, getting blown out 4-0. They're the 14th ranked team in the state. Grand Blanc is ranked 4th, and even though going to Grand Blanc, which is almost an hour and 15 minutes away, because it's right around that Flint metropolitan area, obviously something that's not easy. However, Saline was able to defeat Northville here, so something they can't be very happy about. Going to be looking to come back from that loss here as they once again enter SEC Red play. Bella Petrak kicks it over to Emma Petrak. Kicks it over to Robinson far side. The ball now going to dangle toward Bedford as Joy Shepard kicks it over right to Sarah Brannon, and Brannon going to dribble it up a little bit, weaving her way through the Bedford defense. Far side over to Alyssa Williams, her good friend. Williams runs right past Hillary Hemry, and Williams now tiptoeing the far sideline. Pass intended for Tate Robinson, however, just a little too long. Kate Chewy was in the area for the Mules on that. And we're going to get 2 subs early as Megan Heltman checks in for the Kicking Mules, as does number 17, Aaron Varga. Number 13, Roanne Britton for the Mules will check out. Saline having a couple SEC White games to round out the season here. The next game, and actually our last game for the year that we will be covering, is when they play Dexter next Thursday. And it's always at 7, folks. Most of the athletic events here are at 7. As Cusino blew a tire there, and Dahlman was able to get the ball briefly. The ball eventually trickles down to Petrak, who kicks it far side, intended for Voltowski. Voltowski going to try to save it out of bounds. Not able to do so, however. And with 30 minutes to go here, still a 0-0 scoring affair. Joy Shepard to throw in. Over to Cusino. Helmer now on the attack. And that ball kicked out wide for Mackenzie Heltman. Petrak now going to kick it over to Williams. Williams using that speed, turning on the Jets, tiptoeing the sideline. Lost it out of bounds, and Bedford. Bella Petrak does a good job there, cutting it off at Udry's. Smart decision there to go up and gobble that ball up and clear it out of harm's way. Udry's been a big reason why Saline finds themselves at an 8-4-2 record. If not for a couple of absolutely phenomenal saves that she made against the Northville Wildcat, or the Northville Mustangs, we could be talking about Saline losing that game, because that was one of those games where Northville was right on the precipice of scoring 3 or 4 goals, and it was just a couple of unreal athletic saves by Udry's that kept Saline in the lead. And for all of you folks out there, Hornet Nation is actually running a poll. So if you guys would like to go on Twitter, the Twitter handle is always @NationHornet. We are trying to determine what was the best sporting play of the year. So far, we have had several responses that have been overwhelmingly in favor of Tom Ropp's fumble recovery in the end zone after a muffed punt when Saline played Ann Arbor Pioneer earlier in this fall. They were able to defeat Pioneer 49-7, and with that win, clinch the SEC Red Championship. We also have Annika Udrys, who made a phenomenal save against Northville. If you want my honest opinion, I believe that Udrys save was the best, because she used that height that she has in order to knock down the ball. Voltowski blows the tire there, where she's wrestled to the ground by Aaron Varga, just in game for the Mules. We also have Grace Slipsy against Novi with a phenomenal spinorama move, as she was able to score in between 4 Lady Wildcats. We have Emmett Turner getting an and-one opportunity at a key junction against the Plymouth Wildcats. Saline eventually able to win that game for the second win of the year. That was we were covering that game. That was a really important junction, because at the time it was tied. I want to say 37-37 or 39-39 with 2.5 minutes to go, and Turner, being the senior leader and the heartbeat of that team as he so often was able to corral his own missed shot, get the bucket, and get the and-one opportunity. And that bucket propelled the Hornets into the lead. They would not relinquish that lead and went on to beat the Plymouth Wildcats, what was one of their highlights over that season. I tell you what, folks, I remember that was one of the first games that I started covering, and I remember looking at the roster, and they had Plymouth had their point guard, number 0, was 6'7", and anyone that knows anything about basketball knows that a point guard in high school that's 6'7", you don't see that very often. In fact, I don't even know if there's any NBA point guards that are 6'7", but I mean, it was just completely awesome to see Saline, even though being completely outsized at almost every spot, able to win that game. That was one of those games where they showed a lot of heart, and that was probably the reason they would not accept a loss on their home court. Bella Petrak over to Pena. Pena, I don't think, is going to be able to get there. The ball just staying right on the line, like a baseball hugging the fair foul line. Pena, oh man, she had Robinson. Bedford, Helmer now, going to try to get a shot on goal here. Goes past the goal to protective netting. Going to be able to keep that ball in the stadium for the Hornets. Looks like number 14, Sarah Fitzgerald, going to check in for the Mules here. Saline, 15 minutes into the first half, not having any subs yet. But it'll be interesting to see how much longer Coach Russell goes with this all-senior lineup before we see some of the other key Hornet underclassmen contributors, such as Hannah Jarvie, Audrey Morton, Catherine Wilkie, Sakarik, who normally always starts for the Hornets, not a senior, however. She's only on a team like this, she is going to be a really good defenseman in her senior year, and she's only a sophomore. So Saline's going to have a lot of returning talent here, and it's only natural to look at what's coming down the pipe for the Hornets, as they're going to have quite a few ladies graduating. And it looks like we are just going to get a massive line change here for the Hornets. Sophie Wood's going to check in, number 22 for the Hornets. Audrey Morton, number 7. Number 9, Nora Udries. Number 25, Erin Riley. Number 8, Lauren Rubin. And number 13, Catherine Wilkie. And all 6 of those young ladies will probably be starting or playing in some capacity next year. So Saline having a lot, they're going to have a lot of opportunity to really regroup, because, I mean, just looking at the roster here, Lexi Papor, a phenomenal talent, Hannah Jarvie, Audrey Morton, Lauren Rubin, Nora Udries is going to be phenomenal. For the Hornets, who've seen the scoring impact that she's had already, Sakarik, already one of the best defense ladies in the conference. Saline's probably the hardest thing that they're going to have to do is having to replace Annika Udries' contribution in goal. What she does is something that they're not easily going to be able to replace. They're probably going to be able, especially with the Riley sisters coming back, they're going to have Lexi Papor in the fold, Catherine Wilkie, Morton checking in, Sophie Wood. They're probably going to have Wood and Sakarik at defense. You're going to have a lot of, you're probably going to have ladies like Wilkie, Riley at forward and midfield. So they're going to have a lot of talent. And from the games that we've watched on the JV level, Karen Engelhuber for the Hornets seems like every time she plays, she's got 2 or 3 goals. I mean, they have a lot of really good talent coming down the line. And I do believe that Brenna Crawford, who will be a sophomore next year, she started some of the really early season games for the Hornets when Udries was still on the shelf with that lower leg injury. But she did phenomenal in what limited playing time she got. So she'll probably be getting the nod at goalie here at the start of next year. We're going to get a couple of substitutions here as starters Hillary Henry and Joy Shepard check back in for the Mules here. As with 23 minutes to go, it is still a scoreless game. Kate Chewy going to kick it long for the Mules. Emma Petrock going to go over there trying to corral it. Does get it briefly before Reagan Schmooze for the Mules. Gets it. Nora Udries now over to Sophie Wood. A couple of promising Hornets underclassmen contributors. Udries now looks far side to Wood. Wood's going to kick it far side. Intended for Rubin. And Petrock weaving her way in and out of traffic. Looks for Riley. Riley not able to get there on time. And Bedford now. And Kruk had it briefly, but now Brannon does a good job stepping up. Tries to get Udries. Feeds Udries in the crease. Udries, the pass is a little long. I believe it is going to be out on Saline. And folks, I have an exciting announcement to make as our regular season broadcasts wind down. Next Thursday being our last event, I will be joined by Ian McDonald, a fellow Hornet Nation co-anchor, phenomenal on-air personality, as we wrap up our early season here. I wish we had an opportunity for Patrick to be able to sign off properly, but with everything being in full gear, track starting to wind down a little bit, the Golden Triangle was kind of the pinnacle meet of that, with the exception of the state meet at MIS later this year. But other than that, he really didn't ever get a chance to sign off, so I don't think he'll be back on the air for the rest of this year. And it was an honor working with him, having someone that really knew the history of Saline, an ex-Saline alum, he was really good at pointing out the sibling connections between different siblings. He'd look at a last name and say, oh, I went to school with this person, I went to school with that person, and more than anything else, he really helped me during that Golden Triangle meet. He would run back and forth between the press box and the field, explaining to me the nuances of track, something that I'm not as familiar with as, say, soccer, basketball, football, which were always a little bit more of my forte. So big thanks to him for helping me along with that. But it's going to be really nice to get Ian in the broadcast booth to get him a little bit of experience here. And once again, folks, this broadcast is brought to you guys by the Saline Community Education Department. They're the ones that sponsor everything. Chase Stanton, Nathan Bush, who work for the SETN. Nathan Bush, also a teacher for the SWWC Consortium. They're the ones that really allow this thing to go off without a hitch. And they're the ones that give us this opportunity. Big thanks to our directors, David Wieben, who couldn't be with us today, Lexi McCluskey, Lexi Morgan, who are holding down the fort as our directors and producers here tonight, as well as cameramen, Thomas Pear, Lauren Laird, Megan Zoltowski, and others. Looks like Tate Robinson's gonna check out here. She's gonna get her first rest of the night here. Hannah Jervey gonna check in for the Hornets. We got a little line change here as Udries kicks it into the center of the field. Ball bounces at the 40-yard line. Nora Udries trying to mix it up. Able to get a foot on it before the ball rolls right to Wilkie. Wilkie now has it dribbling, able to successfully dribble around Holenbarger. Petrock now down the far sideline. Looking, surveying her options, nothing open. Wants Wilkie on a cross, does get Wilkie. Wilkie's gonna have a good shot. Wilkie shot on goal. Good save by Kepfler. A lot of mustard on that shot, however, was hit on a rather straight line. Jervey just checks in the game with the header over to Morton. Morton and Jervey also field hockey players in the fall. Saline having a lot of two-sport athletes on this team. You see the Riley sisters both play basketball. Sakarik plays basketball. Toward the goal, scrum for it. Kepfler once again coming up big for the Mules. Saline right now appears to be the better team against the kicking Mules here, but what's becoming all too common sentiment here, Saline right now is on a 2-game scoreless streak. They really don't want to tie another game in which they were probably the better team against Pioneer, being completely and utterly honest. They played the better game, had a lot more scoring opportunities. And Pioneer, when they are rushing onto the field to celebrate a tie, you know that they had I don't want to necessarily say had no intentions of winning, but they knew that in order to assure themselves the best possible result, their playing style would be conducive to play great defense against the Hornets. Riley now looking, hard kick, and she scores. Rock time, Saline finally. Just as we were talking about the Hornets' scoring struggles on senior night here, it's a junior, Aaron Riley, who's able to finally punch it through the back of the corner there. Saline was pressing and pressing and pressing and pressing, finally got a shot, up 1-0, and that is a big goal for them. Because if they're able to beat, they're at the point now where they control their own destiny playoff-wise. They don't have to worry about other chips falling in their way. They don't have to worry about other teams losing and them winning. If they're able to take care of Bedford and Huron at home here, then they will be SEC Red champions. So if they win out, regardless of what happens, regardless of what Skyline does, Pioneer, other teams, then they will be fine. Wilkie now does a good job with the hip check there over to Wood, or not Wood, excuse me, Jarvie. That ball going to be a roll out of bounds after it bounces around. Wilkie now, I tell you what though, Catherine Wilkie is a lady that at the beginning of the year wasn't getting a lot of playing time for the Hornets, but you see how she's gone in every 50-50 ball. She's very physical at the point of attack, and she comes up, lets you know she's there. Phenomenal ball handling skills as she's been able to weave way in and out of traffic, but she does a really good job kind of just congesting the passing lane for the opposing team. makes it really hard for any offensive rhythm to get going here, and done a really good job on the offensive and defensive end, especially, however, the defensive end for the Hornets, as she's been able to firmly cement herself, as has Nora Udries for the Hornets. Bounding pass, Wilkie, right on cue with the strong header. Wilkie, once again, right there, not making life easy. Wilkie, once again. Wilkie dribbling it. Being hotly contested by number 11, Holebarger. Now over to Petrak, who dumps it to Riley. Petrak going to get another goaling opportunity here. Didn't get a lot of mustard on that shot, but Saline right now out shooting Bedford quite a lot. And if they continue with this pace, they will be well on their way to their 9th win of the year. Once again, Saline was able to defeat Bedford at Bedford 2-0. And Russell was not happy. I talked to her the next morning after that game, wasn't extremely happy with how they played. However, at the end of the day, in a game like this, win's a win, especially toward a conference championship here. Some days there are going to be games, more so than probably in any other game, where you felt like you shouldn't have won and you won. See Saline versus Northville. Or games where they really should have won and they didn't. See Saline versus Pioneer. And Morton just going to casually boot the ball out of bounds here. Ball going to be awarded to Bedford as number 4, Hillary Hemry, will throw it in. Pena going to check back in. Riley now dribbles down the first sideline. Shot on goal, back of the net. And Sakara going to check in for her first action of the night at the 15-minute mark. Wilkie right in there once again. Jarvie doing a good job. And Rubin able to get a foot on that ball. Saline right now just playing. Bedford is not able to clear it out. Bedford just wants one clear out so they can get their offense in some sort of rhythm. And Sakaric going to check in for Morton as Morton takes a breather here. Strong minutes from underclassman number 7, Audrey Morton. Sakaric now right into the game with the throw-in. Over the head of Riley. It's really interesting. I don't know if this is intentionally drawn up, but it looks like we have like a senior or a junior sophomore underclassman sort of lineup right now a little bit more. Boy, Rubin right in the crease. Oh man, bounced off her thigh. She's able to hold that. That's a 2-0 advantage. The reason why I say that though is you look at Udry's not a senior, Riley not a senior, Morton who just checked out wasn't a senior. Jarvie, not a senior, Wilkie, Sakaric, and Wood. But you're going to see Voltowski check back in here very soon. Morgan Jones, Petrak, among others who are seniors. Boy, Kepfler is doing a really good job keeping the goal margin only at a 1-0 scoring deficit for Bedford. Is Saline right now thoroughly manhandling the Mules. Riley just skips over the pass. Her goal by Saline finds themselves with the early 1-0 lead here. Petrak over to Pena. Pena long over. Intended for Rubin. Sakaric now does a good job. She hip checks Diley. Pass eventually going to be kicked long here. Sarah Brandon going to be a good spot. Good position to just kick it out of bounds there and regroup for Saline.
In for the Hornets, number 2, Tate Robinson.
Robinson.
Number 5, Annika Dahlman. Number 12, Devin Riley. In for the Mules, number 5, Nate Heltman. Number 17, Aaron Gargon.
And Devin Riley going to check in here for some minutes. She played a lot earlier in the year, got hurt a little bit, and with the play of Wilkie and Morton and Jarvie, lost a little bit of playing time, so nice to see her check back in here. And once again, folks, we only have one more broadcast before we sign off, and it will be next Thursday at 7 o'clock when Saline takes on Dexter. I know from just a senior perspective, I think all of us seniors have ants in our pants right now because senioritis is a real disorder, folks. And obviously with the exception of these ladies playing soccer, I don't know if there's necessarily anything else that they're looking more forward to, being such a senior-laden team, that school ending. I always wondered what it would be like to play a sport after school ended. A big reason why I never ended up doing any spring sports. But we only have a week left, so the seniors are 1 foot out the door already. Sakaric now goes back to retrieve the ball after it skipped past the outstretched leg of Petrak. Sakaric now being pressed heavily by here in Varga. And Sakaric's just going to kick it out far sideline, and Bedford's going to have the opportunity for the throw-in. And folks, we only have 10 minutes to go here before an intermission. And Saline, once again, is up 1-0, courtesy of the Aaron Riley goal. And it looks like Coach Ruslow's determined to get everyone some playing time here as Lexi Papor is going to check in for the Hornets, as is Voltowski, as is Williams. Lexi Papor, another lady for the Hornets who hasn't seen a lot of playing time here. So nice to see her check in. Robinson does a good job getting the ball over to Dahlman. Dahlman going to kick it deep, intended for Udries. Udries, can she get there? Scrum. Kruk once again is going to end up on the ground here. Boy, she has had a busy night so far. Sakaric, far side, boots it. And the ball will be awarded to Saline as Lexi Papor checks in.
Hornets, number 1, Lexi Papor. Number 10, Natalie Bukowski. Number 19, Alyssa Williams.
And I'll tell you something else too, folks. With this constant rotation that the Hornets have going, every Hornets lady is going to be nice and refreshed because they're playing 10-15 minutes and then getting right out of there, as you've seen just a constant substitution game. I'm starting to think that every Hornet lady has gotten some sort of playing time here. I do believe that is the case. And with only 9 minutes to go until halftime, they're going to be nice and rested, and that's going to further serve as an advantage here as we get ready for the second half. Looking at this program guide that we got for the senior ladies, really interesting just to see who the ladies credit as being the reason for their soccer success. Coach Ruslow is quoted as saying that this senior group has been the epitome of dedication with 11 seniors. They are our biggest class to ever come through the Saline girls soccer program. From their freshman year to their senior year, they were intent on leading the program in a better place than they found it. They had the unique experience of seeing a state championship their freshman year. And that's something, folks, coming from a phenomenal coach such as herself. Truly gracious words for the 11 seniors here. Talking from a perspective of a fellow freshman, as the ball's continually banded around. When I was a sophomore, I was a freshman football player, and that was the year we went to Ford Field, albeit a little bit of a different outcome, losing to Clarkston. However, just that experience running around and warming up on a NFL team's field is something that I'll never forget, and it's something that sticks with me. So when you're able to see a state championship at all, even if you're whether a freshman or a sophomore going through the program, it just helps to rejuvenate the entire program, because when you're consistently losing as a program, it's hard to buy into the coach's message and harder to buy into that program mentality. But when you're constantly winning and constantly producing Division I talent and just constantly emphasizing this cohesiveness and constantly going deep into the playoffs, it's so much easier to have just so much more success and be so much more thrilled about going through the ranks. Pena kicks it through the field goal, kicks it through the goal post. And there are actually some little interesting tidbits that I'm able to read here in this little pamphlet. Most of these seniors, when asked where do they hope to be in 10 years, Sarah Brandon puts, I hope to be a doctor. Well, Annika Dahlman hopes, I'm hoping to be a doctor if I can survive the endless amount of schooling, which is true. It takes a long, long time to become a doctor. Sabrina Helmer wants to be married, have a house and kids, while Morgan Jones wants to be a pediatrician. Bella Petrak hopes to finish her law degree, so clearly a lot of aspirations for all of these senior ladies here. And the thing to remember about high school sports, folks, is winning and losing is important, but at the end of the day, these young women are learning lessons that will continue to service them through, whether they are going to a trade school, going into the military, or for a lot of, in these cases, these Saline athletically talented girls who are going to be playing at the collegiate level, whether it be NAIA Division II or Division III. Really going to serve them well. The lessons that they've learned on this field, being around that sisterhood, is something that's going to suit them well here as they get ready to graduate. Graduation being on June 3rd. Sarah Brandon, when asked if she had played soccer or other sport activity, would she do? She put that she would like to try tennis or learning to ski, while Annika Dahlman would like to try volleyball, basketball, or cross country, while Sabrina Helmer puts sleeping or tennis. I can totally get down to the sleeping idea. Morgan Jones would like to run more. And that's the weird thing about running, is it's like 90% of the people hate it. But like there's always that 5 or 10% that just absolutely love it. Bella Petrak would like to be playing basketball. The Petraks played basketball for a while, but quit a couple years back to focus more on soccer. Alyssa Williams said that she would either have continued dance or played volleyball, while Natalie Voltowski can't imagine herself playing anything else but soccer. And we are under the 5-minute mark here, and Saline still up 1-0. Poor just eventually kicks it over to Pena. Pena deking her way in and out of traffic, kicks it over to Dahlman. Pena now, the ball caroms right back to her, and now over the head of Dahlman. And the ball's going to be jostled for possession. And that ball is blasted. As Udry's now going to wave off Petrak. She's going to look to get it here as we reach the 4-minute mark. And instead of kicking it deep, she's just going to throw it, toss it over to Sakarik. Dahlman back to Sakarik. Sakarik now pressed heavily. Number 13, Rowan Britton. Dahlman over to Riley. And whether on senior night, whether these ladies are seniors or not, this is just the most magical time of year to be a high school student. You're right in the festivities of graduating. A lot of us, including me, have college friends, so they're coming home for the summer. I have a couple older cousins that went to Michigan State, and they're all back. And this is just something that you just see them being really loose tonight, and just having a lot of fun, and more than anything else, more than about the outcome, that's what it's all about here. Because I was always told, and I truly believe this, you're not always going to remember the results of a game, but you're going to remember the memories that you had during that game. You're not going to necessarily remember the score of we beat this or this person scored this goal, but you're going to remember that time that Annika may have slipped and fallen on the turf monster or something like that, just providing an example. Funny things like that that you'll never forget. And as we wind down the first half here, Saline going to be looking to go into the half with that 1-0 lead. Ball booted out of bounds by Kate Chewy for Bedford. Wood and Sakarik are going to be really good defenders for the Hornets next year. Far side kick. Alec Cusino is right in the general area, though, for Bedford's able to kick it out far side before Papor tries to go back and get it. Ball eventually falls out of bounds. Dahlman. Now it's going to have Papor throw it in. And Papor is still jostling for possession there. Pena able to come up, head that ball. Papor is once again going to throw in here. Good pass over to Dahlman, hit her right in stride. Voltowski now going to try to get a leg on it. Tries to split the double team of Varga. Sakarik now does a good job breaking up that. Alyssa Williams over to Pena. You get the feeling that this is one of those games that could very easily be 3-0 or 4-0. The Hornets just having a lot of scoring opportunities, but give credit, Kepler playing like Hope Solo in the first half here. Keeping her team in the game. Kenzie Heltman for Bedford gonna kick it deep with only 40 seconds to go here, and then kicks it 15 yards over to Sarah Fitzgerald. Riley now wants Robinson. Robinson she had it right there, couldn't find the ball, and the ball's going to be poked out of bounds. And Bedford's got to be thinking they're lucky stars. They're only down by 1. Saline going to be looking for one final good scoring opportunity. Dahlman, skyscraper shot, nothing connecting, and it looks like we're going to go to half with Saline holding a 1-0 advantage. But at the end of the day, if Saline's able to hold on here, win the game 1-0, 9-4-2, and 1 win away from winning once again the SEC Red title. And once again, folks, we will have a brief 10-minute intermission. As always, I am Nathan Stearns. Thank you guys for listening on this bright and sunny Thursday afternoon from Hornet Stadium.
At Farmers, we believe in smarter coverage because the more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Find your local agent, Lynn Thomas Perry, at 734-316-2068. We are insurance. We are Farmers. Looking for a way to start taking a career? Learn about professional trades in Michigan, where you'll find high-paying careers in fields like advanced manufacturing, healthcare, and IT. Go to going-go.com. At this time, the Saline Women's Soccer Program would like to give a big round of applause and thanks for all their donors to this year's program. AFC Ann Arbor, Acoustic Ceiling and Partition, Ann Arbor State Bank, Michigan Orthodontics, Northern Vending, Wolverines for Life, Amanda May Photography, List Biological, PNC Contractors, Rude Awakenings, Dean Higgins, Dr. Catherine Kelly, Orthodontics, First Baptist of Ypsilanti, Davis Corporate Solutions, Carrion Cafe, Raymond, Julie Wiley, DDS, Gift of Life, Michigan, Atlas Home Inspection, University Lending Group, Saline Optometry, Woodland Family Dentistry, Henry Ford Health System, and Henry Ford Breast Cancer Program. Advantage Strength, Care One Rental, Dr. Jean Lesh, Ventures Upholstery, Georgette Hansen, Janet Targard, Michigan Power Riding, SISU Mount Guards, Thistle Downs, One-on-One Hairstyling, Capstone Tax and Financial. Support your local sponsors. Their generous contributions allows for our graduating senior soccer players to receive assistance through scholarship funds toward their next steps in education. Again, we thank you very much.
And folks, with that, we are back for the second half of the Saline Hornets versus the Bedford Kicking Mules in this SEC Red game. Saline up 1-0, courtesy of an Aaron Riley goal. Saline was able to get several quality shots on goal and was able to finally poke one through the back of the net here. Bedford goalie Cassidy Keltfer, mainly the only reason Bedford's even in the game, similar to Udry's against Northville, Saline having quality scoring chance after quality scoring chance, and she's doing a good job keeping them in the game. If Saline's able to win this game, and they'll feel a lot better about themselves after that just tough game against Grand Blanc, looking to get back on the winning side of things here too. But they started off 0-2-1, as it's been well documented that they lost a couple games in heartbreaking fashion. They were tied 0-0 going late into the second half. I think don't quote me on this, but Brighton and Heartland, who they lost to, one team scored with like 4 minutes left and one scored with like 5. So the Hornets are fully expecting a tie, and they end up losing 1-0. But as fate would have it, they scored that late goal against Saline to put themselves in sole possession for the SEC Red Crown. And they had that one early goal against Northville. That was all they needed to beat the 6th-ranked team in the state. So the pendulum swung both ways for the Hornets. And at the end of the day, their record kind of reflects how good they are. They've won some games that probably they necessarily shouldn't have had, and they've tied some games where they probably should have won. Then again, that's just how these things work, folks. Secure now with the throw-in. Saline once again starting off in taking the ball right down the field and marching into Bedford's defensive zone. Brannon over to Petrak. Petrak, I believe an offside is going to be called. Or a handball is going to be called, excuse me. But I tell you what, the first 42 minutes of the game, Bedford has got absolutely nothing going on offense. I mean, I don't think they've had one shot on goal. So far, it's just been an all Saline affair. Saline thoroughly dominating Bedford in both aspects of the game here, but despite all that, it is only a 1-0 game. And maybe this is just talking from my perspective, but more so, especially in football, more so than any other team, you wanted to beat Bedford because you always knew that it was going to come down between Saline and Bedford to win the conference championship. You always wanted to beat Pioneer really bad too, and I'm not exactly sure how it is in girls soccer, but I can imagine that beating Bedford's probably right up there. You probably want to beat all your conference opponents, obviously, but for football, Pioneer and Bedford were the games that we would really always circle on our calendar, while games like Huron and Skyline, obviously we wanted to win and whatever, but it wasn't such a rivalry game, partially due to the lack of competitiveness between the two teams. Wilkie now going to start off the second half for the Hornets. Petrak to Udry's. Udry's wanted to get it to Riley far side. However, Kate Chewy able to boot that ball out. And Voltowski. Udry's in between a crowd of mules. Chewy once again heads it over to Hillary Hemry. And the ball rolls out of bounds off Hemry's foot, and Sakirit going to throw in over the head of Riley. And Cosino falls to the ground here after Riley with a little bit of a hip check there. Been a relatively clean game so far. I think it was the Skyline Saline game that we last covered in terms of girls soccer, where every 5 seconds it seemed like there were invisible banana peels placed all over the field, because it seemed, I mean, every single lady was falling all the time. Morgan Jones, I think, fell 5 or 6 times just in the first half. I mean, the Rileys were falling, everybody was falling. In this game, though, we've not had a lot of, looks like the turf monster doesn't want to come out and play today, so that's always a good thing. Morgan Jones wearing that heavy knee brace, tries to kick it, however, is not able to corral it through the legs of Mackenzie Heltman. And we're getting another stoppage in play here. Once again, folks, 2 40-minute halves. We have 36 minutes to go here in the second half before this game's finally all said and done, and the lights have just come on here. It's always really nice, though. It was the weirdest thing because we probably got to late April, early May, and it was 75, 80 degrees and humid. I mean, like, the press box here was a giant sweat lodge. And then we were covering the Golden Triangle for 13 hours, and it was cold as could be on Friday. I mean, just the, like, Michigan's weather is so completely unpredictable. It's just something that I feel bad for these athletes more than anything else, because one game you're playing and you're running around and it's 80 degrees with 80% humidity, and the next game it's 45 and windy, and it's just absolutely unbelievable. Kate Chewy now, once again, will kick off for the Mules. Kicks it on a straight line, center of the field, header off Petrak. Riley falls. Wilkie, Jones, able to use her length to get around to Megan Helpman. Shot on goal and she scores! Morgan Jones. Boy, that shot was from way downtown. Shades of Jordan Poole against Houston, folks. Holy moly, that shot was from a solid 20 yards out. You could have placed that ball much better, just right over. Didn't have a lot of velocity, but was just right over the head of Keltfer, and Saline off to a 2-0 lead here. Great start there for the Hornets. If they're able to hold this 2-0 margin, you get the feeling that with about 5 or 10 minutes to go, they are so good at this, they'll just start kicking the ball deep. If Bedford starts getting any sort of offensive rhythm, which they haven't for the first half and change here, they'll just start kicking it deep and burn. That's what they did against Northville, and that's what they did against Skyline after they scored with like 6 minutes to go. And that was something that just really impressed me, is when you're in a game like that, it's so easy to just go, 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 go. You want to score more goals. You want to score more goals. But cooler heads prevail for them, and they realize that if they have possession and there's no one around them, if they're able to launch the ball to the other side of the field and waste another minute off the clock, scoring is important, but more than anything else, it's the outcome of the game, obviously. And they were able to beat Northville. Sarah Brandon was a big part of them being able to beat Northville, because she had 3 or 4 just phenomenal clear-outs where the ball would roll. I mean, with about 5 or 6 minutes left, it's just clear out after clear out. Northville was not really able to get any sort of offensive rhythm going, because it's hard to get any offensive rhythm going when you get into Saline's defensive zone, but Saline's able to clear it out, and then you have to reset from halfway across the field. Skarek throwing. Goes right to Bella Petrak. Dashes over Petrak. Voltowski looking for Riley. Wilkie now. Tries to go and get it. Wilkie, and the ball is eventually going to come down. As Jones looks to get it from Varga. Jones far side. Udries gets around, looks good, save. Udries another shot. Good save. Kelpfer, boy, she is having herself a day. Not getting a lot of help at all from any of her fellow defensive counterparts, but Saline right now has got to feel really good about their chances of coming out of here with a win here. Saline's last game will be against the Huron River Rats, who they have already defeated 2-0 earlier. As they're going to be looking to beat Huron. They beat Huron at Huron, so they will be here. And they will be looking to defeat Huron to wrap up an SEC Red Championship. Obviously a big goal for them to win that SEC Red title, but doesn't really mean much compared to the SEC Red Championship or the state championship, that the Hornets are going to be looking for. Udries now had it. Header by Cosino. Petrak. Saline. Bedford now. If they want to have any shot to win this, they can't be content with just kicking the ball out wide and clearing it. they find themselves in a very precarious scoring deficit here as the clock continues to roll. Obviously, 30 minutes, plenty of time, but it has to start with the little steps. They're not going to just start getting quality shots on goal from where they are. It starts by keeping the ball in Saline Hornets territory, and then that's because Saline was able to. Brandon streaks down left side, not able to score. Had a shot, but back to my previous point, folks. Saline's did a really good job of. They got shot after goal, and they continued to put their foot on the gas and did not let Bedford clear it out. They kept their hand on Bedford's throat. Oh, and we got a little bit of a pile here as Nora Udries tried to kick that ball. However, Kepfler went way out there, almost to the periphery of the goalie's box to get that ball. Jones had it briefly before Mackenzie Helpman's going to kick it onto the grassy lawn here that is adjacent to the visitor bleachers. Riley kicks it to the cement. Saline now looking for a chance here. I believe Saline's going to get a corner kick here. Boy, and they got to get Morgan Jones is standing taller than every other lady there. I mean, Saline's going to, if they're able to get it to Jones, they're going to have a shot. Brandon's going to check in. Header, Riley had it. It's just a little strong here. But that's one thing that really does benefit Saline is they have a lot of height over Bedford right now. I mean, just looking down at the field, Brandon's taller than most of the ladies. Sakaric is. Morgan Jones stands like a skyscraper among the rest of them. And we are going to get a kick out by number 6, Kate Chewy, who has handled most of the kickoff duties. Boy, Bedford just not able to get anything going offensively. They want to clear it out, but they're just not able to. Morgan Jones now kicks it out of bounds. Bedford now going to look to clear it out. I believe they gave it to Saline. It looked like it was off of Saline. However, Ella Petrak is going to be looking for another quarter kick. Okay. Yeah, whatever works, folks. And we'll see if we can get on the board with our third goal of the night here. Jones, header. Scrumming around. Boy. Kepfler just went through Jones, through Wilkie to get that ball, to corral it through a crowd. She has had herself a phenomenal game here. One goal, the first goal was nothing she could do about it. The second goal, it's hard to do anything when the ball is placed perfectly. That was more Morgan Jones just making a phenomenal shot than her doing something wrong. Wilkie doing everything she can, trying to cross up Cosino. Eventually kicks it back out to Petrak where there's more space. Emma Petrak towing the right sideline. Petrak now going to turn on the Jets. Kicks it. Almost went into the trash can. And now Saline.
Checking in for the Hornets, number 2, Tate Robinson. Number 5, Anna Cadal. Number 6, Genesis Pena. Number 8, Lauren Rubin. Number 10, Natalie Okowski. And number 12, Devin Riley.
There you go, folks. We're going to get a complete line change. Saline, what they're doing right now, all signs point to Saline being in good position here as we continue to move on. They're rotating. Both the girls are fresh. Bedford's not rotating in a lot. And the Mules are just trying to do anything they can to prevent the Hornets from scoring their third goal of the game here. However, they need to start getting some sort of offense going if they hope to win. Rubin, Dahlman now, who's in the game, going to the University of Michigan. Over to Jones. Jones to Pena, the Siena Heights commit. Pena, Dahlman, wanting to get the shot. Robinson, Dahlman tries to get up. Petrak does a good job keeping it in. Over to Pena. Pena, still going. Petrak. Petrak kicks it toward the goal. Nothing doing, however, for Saline. As Kepfler able to corral it here as we reach the 26-minute mark of the second half. Ball kicked out. Dahlman. Boy, Saline seems like they've won every 50-50 ball here tonight. Petrak. Almost had it, but Olivia Kruk briefly had it. Then Brandon comes up. Boy, Bedford just not really having any sort of offensive rhythm here. This game could easily be 4 or 5 to nothing. It feels like a game that's farther away than 2 to nothing. Ball going to be awarded to Saline here. Robinson's going to have the opportunity for the quarter kick. And if you're Annika Udries right now, you got to be really happy here, just being able to relax under your goal. Throw in Petrak. And see, that's just a veteran savviness right there. Number 12, Olivia Kruk, overran that ball. Petrak anticipated where that ball was going to go, slowed down the progression of momentum. Pena, oh man, everything went right for Saline, and they were that close. Man, not going to get a better scoring chance than that. No one was around her, and she just airmailed it.
Number 19, Alyssa Williams.
Alyssa Williams checks in for Morgan Jones. And once again, number 16, Cade Chewy, to handle the kickoff for Bedford. Number 13 for Bedford, Rowan Britton trying to clear it out. And once again, Saline gains possession. Robinson instructing Rubin to go and get it. Rubin couldn't get there in time, though. Bounced around Udries. Had it. Now Pena. The ball, yeah, I believe going to be awarded to Bedford. Here's Saline holding that 2-0 lead, courtesy of the Aaron Riley and more recently Morgan Jones goal. Williams checks in, playing good, hard defense there. And you just see Bedford looks a little tired right now, a little winded. Saline rotating in a lot of different players, so they're going to be nice and fresh here as we're at about a couple minutes away from the 20-minute mark. They just don't have the manpower that Saline does. Saline having probably 6 or 7 more ladies than the Mules do. Williams over to Helmer, or over to Petrak. And that's going to be, especially as the playoffs get going here, that's going to be something that hopefully Saline is going to be able to use to their advantages. If they have this many quality players that can go out and play that well and give them high quality minutes, you might play teams that hardly rotated in at all. So that's where Saline's freshness is really going to come into play here. Dahlman over to Riley, Devin Riley. Pena, Rubin. Rubin now with a little bit of space to operate, decides to kick it over to Robinson. Robinson to Pena with looking, she had it. The ball just, wasn't able to get good control of the ball there. Was probably trying to do too many things at once. Williams to Wood, and Wood just kicks it toward the goal. Kepler gonna try and kick it deep for Bedford, and she will. The ball is gonna go right down to Dahlman. Brandon runs up, does a good job anticipating. She is such a leader for the Hornets at the back end there of that defense. And I tell you what, just the way she does things and her enthusiasm for doing these things and the example that she has set the last couple of years for the Hornets is invaluable for younger players who have stepped into bigger roles, such as Rubin, such as Sakira, such as Wood. Williams tried to head in the ball. Williams scores! Alyssa Williams on senior night.
3-0. Alyssa Williams.
Saline starting to turn on a little bit of scoring here. I like it. On senior night here, 2 seniors
Checking in for the Mules, number 3, Whitney Riley.
who were able to score here for them are Alyssa Williams and Morgan Jones.
Number 17, Aaron Varga.
Originally, it looked like she wasn't going to be able to get it, but the ball went right to her, and Kepler was right on the ground there, and Saline now really in control here. as we enter the later stages of the game. Looks like we're going to have a re-stoppage of play. And Brittany Diley for Bedford going to kick off here. And Saline, imagine that, was almost able to get into their offensive zone. Hillary Hemfrey now trying for dear life to save it, but Sakarik over to Rubin. Bedford just looks thoroughly outclassed right now, folks. I mean, they're just having they look tired, and the results are starting to show up for them. Riley now. Devin was right there. If that ball was just a little bit slower, she might have been able to boot it over the head for the Hornets. Fourth goal of the night here. Aaron Varga at it. Now Rubin. Wow, good deke there. Sakarik. Kicked. Oh. Looks like Kepfler takes a tumble there. I don't believe Pena hit her hard. I don't even know if Pena hit her at all. They're trying to get a little bit of a foul there, as we are a minute away from the 20-minute mark, and that being the halfway mark here in the second half. You got the feeling that if Saline was able to keep the pace that they had going in the first half, they were going to be able to get a couple more goals on here. They thoroughly dominated Bedford in the first half and in the second half. So far as they've been able to tack on a couple more goals, courtesy of seniors Alyssa Williams and Morgan Jones. Looks like we're going to have Lexi Papor and Audrey Morton check in for Saline here to give the Hornets some fresh legs. And Bedford now, it's been a long time since they've been on their side of the 50. Going to kick it toward the general direction of the Saline defense. Pena with the easy header, though. Over to Riley. Over to Williams. Williams, one of the Hornets' faster ladies, turns on the burners to Rubin. Good job there by Rubin. And I tell you another reason why Saline is so just well off. Not only do they rotate in a lot, but Coach Ruslow makes them run a lot. They run the gauntlet. They run miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. So they are in good shape. You cannot play for Saline soccer and not be in really good physical shape. Attribute that to her, and you're seeing why she does what she does. It's paying dividends here right now. Brannon, just kick it toward the goal. Robinson. Oh, Robinson goal. 4-0 Saline. Kate Robinson gets on the board. No goal. Oh, what? Still going to be 3-0 here. It looked like Kepfler whiffed on the ball. I don't know why the goal's being called off. Bedford dodges a bullet there. Robinson with the header there. Robinson that close to getting her first goal here. Saline coming out in full force here as they've broken that two-game scoreless streak where they tied Pioneer 0-0 and lost Grand Blanc 4-0 and then some. They're going to be looking to add a couple more goals before all said and done here tonight. Sakarik. That ball tiptoeing. That's the second time the ball is tiptoed right down the line. It's finally going to go foul.
Number 1, Lexi Papor. Number 7, Audrey Morton. Number 9, Nora Udrich. Number 25, Aaron Riley. Checking in for the Mules, number 1, Joy Shepard.
And we've just not seen a lot of subs for the kicking Mules. Down to the ground goes Dahlman. Kate Chewy wanted to get it there, but Saline going to have possession here as the clock continues to roll in favor of the Hornets. The clock now is starting to become the Hornets' friend here. Only 18 minutes to go here with a 3-goal lead. They appear to be well on their way to their 9th win of the year. Ball going to roll out of bounds here. And I believe it's going to stay down at this end. Saline's going to get possession here as Pena goes over to retrieve it. Pena now going to have the opportunity for the corner kick. Kicks it toward the goal. Header. Riley got some good contact on it. However, However, Kepler was easily able to grab that. Boy, she has had a busy night behind there. Giving up 3 goals, but 2 of them have just been crazy goals, and the other one was just a phenomenal Morgan Jones shot. It was just, Williams was able to poke in the 3rd goal of the game in a wild scrum for the ball. So she's had a phenomenal game. Saline's probably had about 15 or 20 just high scoring opportunities. Like high quality scoring opportunities. And for a less inexperienced goalie, we could be approaching a 5-0, 6-0 game. Remember, Saline will take the 3-0 advantage. Robinson. Aaron Riley looks to retrieve it. Whistle going to be blown here. Number 10, Molly Koviak, to kick it in for the Mules. Over to number 11, Grace Holabarger. We're going to get another stoppage in play, as Koviak once again is going to kick. And Koviak was intended for Kruk. It went over the foot of Kruk. It's going to be out. And Saline. It was out on Bedford, going to be awarded to Saline. Throw in there by Morton. Pena. Riley now. Dahlman in stride. Trying to thread the needle there, but the ball's going to be kicked right into the Hornets' dugout. Saline now. Udries looking to get it. Another wild scrum. Boy, a lot of moving there. Kepler's deserved her paycheck, regardless of the outcome of the game. She's been putting in overtime for the Mules here so far. Saline, Dahlman, pass. Robinson does a good job deking through traffic. That ball is skyscrapered up there. Now Petrock over to Riley, or over to Papor, who just checked in. Dahlman still has it. He's going to kick it over to Udries. Williams almost had the header, went over the head there.
And for the Hornets, number 14, Morgan Jones, number 15, Bella Petrock, number 17, Katie Miller, and for the Mules, number 3,
Saline gonna get
Brittany Dylan.
another bunch of subs here, as we have a lot of the key senior leaders. Check out for the Hornets here. Riley with another corner kick as the clock continues to wind down. We're under 15 here now. Riley. Saline. Oh, man. Dahlman had it dead to right. Just a little too much strength. Looks like number 24 for the Mules, Mackenzie Helpman. Going to kick it over to her teammate before Morgan Jones disrupts that. Joy Shepard had it briefly. Riley weaves in and out of traffic, shoots it far side, ball before it goes out of bounds. And we are now at the 13-minute mark, folks. As the clock continues to wind here, Saline appears to be in great shape here to collect their 9th win of the year. If Saline is able to hold down, they will improve to 9-4-2 on the year. Once again, if they're able to defeat the Huron River Rats in their last SEC Red game, not SEC game overall because they still have Lincoln and Dexter in the white, but SEC Red game, they will be conference champions. Huge scrum for the ball side of the net, nothing doing. You just get the feeling here. I think Saline's just having a lot of fun right now as Voltowski going to check back in here.
Mules, number 2, Allie Cousineau, number 16, Kate Shuai.
And Saline's just had a very...
Now in for the Hornets, number 10, Natalie Volkowski.
Saline's just had a phenomenal game plan here tonight. They're playing a lot better than they did when they went to Bedford. If they play like this, they can be a very dangerous team in the playoffs, because not only that defense, but just the rotation, how well they're conditioned, and how experienced they are. They're going to be a tough out, folks. They're going to be a very tough out. Kapoor now streaking down the far sideline. And hard kick out there by Mackenzie Heltman. Kapoor now going to have the opportunity for the throw in here. Kapoor goes back to get it. Kapoor still going to get it. Udry's almost had a chance. Boy, she's been about, like, within a couple feet of having a really good scoring chance about 2 or 3 different times here tonight. Petrak does a good job keeping it in. Riley. Over to Volkowski. Volkowski. Over to Riley. Riley. The opportunity to Volkowski. Ball continues to bounce around. Dolmans, Udry's. Oh, man. Keffler just got kicked in the face. Obviously, no intent there by Udry's. Ball was bouncing in the air and was trying to get up to get the ball. Saline still holding that 3-0 scoring advantage here, even though you just get the feeling it could be a lot worse for Bedford. Heltman. Once again with the kick. And I tell you something else, too, folks. I don't care what sport it is, but anytime you're able to beat Bedford twice in 1 year, it's a really good feeling. So hopefully Saline's able to finish off this last 10.5 minutes on the right note and collect their 9th win of the year. Jones, Udry's, back to Jones. Jones with the second goal of the game here. Kapoor with the header and then falls to the ground. However, she's a wrestler, so obviously has had harder falls before. With that, we're finally going to get a stoppage in play after that frantic gameplay there. Looks like Sabrina Helmer is going to check in for the Hornets here at the next stoppage in play. As is Emma Petrak. Riley. Boy, she had Volkowski streaking. If she was able to get that in stride, Volkowski very easily could have scored there. Volkowski over to Dahlman. Dahlman kicks it back out to Katie Clark, who checks in for some of her first minutes here in the night. The Hornets starting to empty their bench here. Clark getting her first minutes of the night. Kapoor. Dahlman's going to go up and try to intercept that pass. Away from number 11, Grace Hulebarger. Nate Hulebarger, phenomenal player on the Bedford football team. Remember playing against him. And folks, we are less than 9 minutes away from Saline winning.
Number 4, Emma Petrak. Number 11, Sabrina Helmer. Number 13, Catherine Wilkie.
And with that, folks, we're going to get more substitutions here. Kapoor with the throw-in. Brandon. Still going, Jones to Wilkie. Wilkie. Oh boy, Wilkie. Just checked. Shepard. Jones. Far side crease. Volkowski. Ball bouncing around. Saline. Got it in. They waved it off again. That's the second time Saline's been able to squeak it in to no avail. Kapoor. looks to get it. Brandon. Voltowski has the chance. Good job there by Kepler, looking like Alex Avila behind the plate there, able to corral the ball there on a weird hop. Poor just runs over. Brandon gonna look to score. Come on, Sarah, come on. Spin around. Helmer. Oh, man. Boy, Bedford. How they get out of these messes, I do not know. Jones, or Bedford's just going to kick it deep there. But at this point, with only 6.5 minutes to go here, Bedford's hope's all but done. You don't come back from a 3-0 goaling deficit with the way the game's gone here. Saline's going to probably find a way to win their 9th game of the year here. Helmer. But if Bedford does have anything in the tank for the Hornets, they're going to have to start going now. Because Saline, I mean, I don't think Bedford's had more than probably 2 or 3 minutes on their side of the field all night. It's been a long time since I've just seen a team completely control the pace of the game from the onset, such as Saline. And as we approach 8:30, folks, we are at the 6-minute and 14-second mark. Number 24, Mackenzie Heltman, kicks it far side for Bedford. Brandon now. Header over Helmer. Wilkie now. Over to Voltowski. Morton now toward the goal. Oh, man. Honestly, man, what a game, folks. What a game. 5 minutes and 20 seconds here until the conclusion of this game. As Heltman kicks it, Saline going to improve to 7-0-2 in conference. You're going to be looking to defeat the Mules. Jones had Brannon. Helmer now look to corral it. Wilkie now tries to go around. Still dances around. Morton now. Saline trying to do everything they can to keep it in, but there will be a clear out here now. Petrak had it before Chewy eventually kicked it out. Katie Clark now going to kick it for Petrak. Petrak tiptoes the sideline, going to kick it to Morton. Morton stepped out of bounds as we approach the 4.5-minute mark here. We're going to throw in by number 2, Ali Cosino, excuse me. Petrak weaves in and out of traffic there in full stride. Oh, man, she had Voltowski. However, it's going to be up to Kepler to go and try to get it as we are at the 4-minute mark. And we have another long ball in Udries, with her only second or third ball touch of the night. Brandon in stride. Come on, Sarah. Oh, she's fine. Poor is going to go alongside to get it there and just going to kick it out of bounds here. As we are 3 minutes from the conclusion of the game here. Jones, Brannon, Saline will improve to 9-4-2 on the season. And after an 2-1 start, that is quite the start. That is quite the streak the Hornets have been on. Once again, folks, we will be back on the air next Thursday, the 24th, the night before the last day of school for the seniors, as Saline takes on Dexter, and we will be joined by Ian McDonald, who will be here to help me call that game. The Hornets with a win here tonight will improve to 7-0-2 in conference play. And with just 2 minutes to go here, Bedford appears to be all but dead in the water. Saline was able to control this game from the onset. Frankly, it doesn't even feel like a 3-0 affair. It feels like a 9-0 affair with the way the game's gone. I'm not even sure if Bedford has had a shot on goal, folks, now that I think about it. I don't think they have. Saline had more shots on goal in the first 20 seconds of the game than Bedford's had in 80 minutes. And once again, folks, as a Saline student, it always feels good to beat Bedford in anything. Helmer. And now Bedford gets the ball on their side of the field for the first time in a little while. Morton dribbles far side, got plenty of room to operate. Over to Voltowski as we approach the 1 minute, 16-second mark. Folks, we are 30 seconds away from the conclusion of this game. As always, I am Nathan Stearns. Big thanks again to Nathan Bush, Chase Stanton, the entire SCTN television network, the entire Saline Community Education Department that allows us to continue to bring you guys these live broadcasts. Thank you to our internet provider, our live stream service provider, Stretch Internet. Big thanks to them for everything they do to allow us to continue this. And that is going to do it, folks. Saline wins 3-0, improves to 9-4 on the year. Phenomenal effort. As always, I'm Nathan Stearns. I will be back next Thursday for my final broadcast of the season. Thank you guys for tuning in. It means a lot. And hope you guys have a great rest of your night here. Work week's almost over, folks.